Her Turf Next. I am Lanisha Townsend.
And I am Janice Ward.
Today, we will be discussing, this episode is so great, we'll be discussing a narcissist divorce versus a healthy person divorce, a healthy partner divorce. This has been a trending topic. You guys will see this all over social media. There are so many layers to narcissism and when you're divorcing them and what it means and all the tips and everything that we decided to do this in a 3-part series.
Yes. Now, both of us sitting here today, we do have something in common. We have both went through a divorce with a narcissist. And in addition to that, I, as a family law attorney, I work with a lot of clients who are going through divorces with narcissists. Now, before we jump in, I do want to clarify for defamation purposes that neither of our exes has officially been diagnosed as narcissists. We have self-diagnosed them, and so therefore they are allegedly narcissists.
Did y'all clock her teeth?
Carry on.
Did y'all clock it? Did y'all clock it? Okay, so today I will be asking Janice about what it is legally when navigating the process of divorce with a narcissist, because...
And I will be asking Lanisha questions about her lived experience going through a divorce with a narcissist. And of course, I'll throw in some of my own experiences also.
So y'all buckle up. This is going to be quite interesting. So let's jump into part 1, narcissist versus healthy divorce and what no one tells you.
No one tells you.
So, my very first question for Janice, right?
Yeah.
What is the biggest difference between divorcing a healthy person or a healthy partner versus a narcissist?
I would say it is the goal of that party.
Okay.
Because if you're divorcing a healthy person, their goal is to, resolve the case and move on with their lives. They're ready to move on and go on to something else.
Okay.
If you are divorcing a narcissist, their goal is to win. They're not ready to give up control. And if you're now forcing them to release control of you.
Yes, that was one I was getting ready to ask that. Okay, yep.
They're going to now have to control this case. They want to win this case because them winning this case is going to prove that you're a liar. And that everything they've said about you this whole entire time was true. And everything you said about them was false. Because they won.
And that's why when they say things and it's like, that sounds so weird and so crazy, that's not me. You're not in the same conversation with them.
No.
You're not in the same situation with them. So, that's a good point.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Okay.
And I'm always curious to know this with everyone I talk to who say that their ex or their current partner is a narcissist. When did you discover, or when did you have that aha moment of, this man is a narcissist?
So early on, I didn't even know what that meant. Like, I didn't find out what narcissism was until we got further in right before our mediation. So I had no idea, right? But it was once I found out and I realized, like, I am not crazy.
Yeah.
I am not crazy. There is a group of people who are talking about this and having a whole conversation about narcissism, about narcissists. So I would have to say during mediation, like around that time. And he was very much controlling the narrative. So not only was he controlling the narrative, he was also controlling the documents that he wanted to, to use in negotiation. But once I found out about it, I'm not negotiating anything. I didn't negotiate anything during my mediation except for child support and visitation because I had no idea what his finances look like. So I would say around that time. Definitely around mediation.
Yeah, I think I realized during my divorce process also. Because during that time, once you're first separated, you're doing a lot of research, right? Sometimes you're just trying to get clarity on what it is that you went through. I really wanted to understand why this man was that crazy. So I was online, I'm Googling, I'm talking to therapists, I'm doing all this stuff. And when I first started looking it up, looking up his symptoms and all of these things, that didn't come up at first. And at some point during my case, that word came up.
Yeah.
And I just went down the rabbit hole, and I was like, oh my goodness.
And it is definitely a rabbit hole. I think I was like Googling what to do when I was putting in all the things that he wasn't doing. And some things would pop up, but then I would have like a sweet keyword, and then that's when narcissist popped up. And then I was like, oh. And that epiphany moment, I started crying because I was just like, the narcissist wants you to believe that you're crazy. The narcissist wants to believe that it's only you. The narcissist wants to believe that you're the problem. You're the problem. They control you. They're the winners. They're the manipulators. And you got to think, when your psyche is being attacked like that, you do start feeling it. And you're like, wait a minute, maybe it's me. Maybe I did do something. So, okay. So can you legally define or call an ex a narcissist in court documents to their face, or in court? Because once I found the term, I was like, "You're a narcissist."
Yeah. So I mean, technically, right? You can do whatever you want. You're grown. Legally, you probably shouldn't. Now, I will tell you though, because the first time I was going through my legal process before we canceled and then went through it again, I was definitely calling him a narcissist in all my paperwork.
I was just calling him the narcissist.
Oh no, I was filing it with the court. I was telling the judge that this, because I had just discovered this term, and it answered so many questions for me that I'm like, listen, Judge, we're not dealing with a regular person here. We're dealing with a crazy person. This is the type of crazy he is. And here's some articles so you can educate yourself.
So what is it good? Well, hey, that's a good example, because what did the judge say after that? Like, what was the judge like, ma'am, you can't do this? Or
he didn't.
Really?
He said, I'll take a look at them. Now, did he actually? I don't think he ever did. But he said, he was like, okay, I was like, I filed some articles. For you to go ahead and educate yourself on what I'm doing with.
At least it was a part of your docket. It was a part of like your exhibit. So, right? Yeah. It was his exhibits that this was, so
I submitted it. And, but in my second filing, when because the first time I was not represented, and I went rogue. I didn't care. I was going to file everything.
Right, isn't that funny that both of us was so ghetto when we filed the first time? That's how you know we were emotional.
Yeah.
We were emotional and we were exhausted.
I was filing with all my emotions.
Yeah.
I was so pissed. Yeah. Because he had like accused me of kidnapping our kids and all this thing. I was angry. And I had just discovered who this man was. So I filed all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I did a whole blog. I did everything. I did everything. I did.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't be like me the first time. Be like me the second time.
Take that from a family law attorney. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because we was both ghetto. I was so ghetto. Listen. Like, I'm so glad that we stopped the first. That judge would have been like, ma'am, you got anger problems. And at this moment in my life, undo.
Yeah.
If
everyone could do that, like start filing, get all their emotions out, cancel it.
I think I might have told him I would hit him with a car or something. Like, do not file with your emotions. Please do not. Take that from us.
Yeah.
So glad they got canceled.
The second time, all the emotions were gone. Yeah. I had, felt a little healed. Right? Yeah. I hired an attorney because I said, you know what? That was, even though I'm an attorney, I'm like, I can't represent myself because that was too ghetto. Yeah. Like, it was way too much. It didn't make no sense. I didn't make no sense. Okay. I don't know what I was doing.
It was bad.
So I got an attorney. And she said, we ain't going to call this man narcissist, ma'am. And I was like, okay, fine. We don't have to call him that in court. Yeah. But you shouldn't. You shouldn't call them a narcissist. You can't label them unless you're going to bring an expert that is going to come, unless they've been diagnosed, right? Because then the judge is going to be looking at you like you're crazy. Right. Just labeling somebody. Yeah. They're going to say you're crazy. You're going to say they're a narcissist. Yeah. Neither of you have any evidence to prove it. Okay. You point to the facts. What actually happened that led you to believe that about them.
And so in another one of our parts, we're going to talk about behavior, because we can at least, use their behavior as examples through our divorce as well. So,
So I have a question concerning how did you and your ex communicate during your divorce? Because that's where a lot of the issues come up usually.
Yeah.
In the cases, and that's where all evidence is coming from. So how was your communication? What was it like? How were you guys communicating? Were you guys on the phone? Were you talking in person? What was going on?
My first filing was definitely through text and email.
That's
so no, it wasn't.
I mean,
that's my first no. Okay. Now my second, I will say,
it's good for the written communication, but not if it can be used against you.
Yeah, it was definitely going to be used against me. It would absolutely be used against me. You would think that I was like, I had some issues. So anyway, because I was mad. You say a lot of things when you're angry, and especially think about it too. You've been in a long marriage with the narcissist. Think about the amount of mind contortions that they do with you, right? So by that time, like, you're a basket case. Yeah. You're an absolute basket case, and then you're angry on top of that. So
I legit felt like I was going crazy.
Yeah, I felt like I was going crazy too. So that's exactly how I reacted. Okay, so the second, I have to show y'all some examples. I might put up some examples of some of our text messages from our first filings, because y'all be like, this is not the same people. But it would be a good example to show like how we have grown and how we looked at our divorce the second time around versus how we were the first time around, when we were not healed, when we did not have therapists, and when we did not have attorneys. So the second time, I would definitely block him via text, and I would block him via text because I wanted the emails. So because I wanted the emails, he would just go and have like random conversations with himself. Because another thing that narcissists do that I realized is that even if you're not responsive to them, they justify their feelings within themselves. He would literally have long back-to-back emails like, I'm actually responding. And he is responding. I'm talking about he went in. Right. He would go in. And so I would say the communication second time around would definitely be like, okay, because I had to create boundaries. The boundary was, okay, you're texting me and this is not about our daughter. So anything else outside of that, you need to contact my attorney. So I was able to create boundaries with our communication. And when he didn't do that, okay, you're blocked. Now send emails. And then he would go rogue in the emails. So that's how I would do mine.
Okay.
In the second time around. Okay, so going into communication, right? What is the biggest mistake that women make while divorcing a narcissist? Communication
with emotion. Right? Because those text messages are the most common evidence that we bring in court. I mean, I always ask for text messages as evidence when I'm going to court. Right? Because this is where we can see some dialogue. You know, it's harder to bring in, video evidence or audio, although you can. But it's so easy to stamp some text messages together and hand them to a judge. Yeah, that's true. And the judge, usually, like, when you understand and you're questioning the witnesses through these text messages, the judges are looking at those messages. Yeah, while you're like cross-examining their word. Yeah. So here's the thing: if this person has been poking at you, let's say they come to your home, right? They do it on purpose too. Please keep that in mind. They do it on purpose. Let's say he comes to your home. You guys have a whole fight in person. Okay. Okay. That's not recorded. Right. No one. He calls you all kinds of names. Right. Your peace. Yeah. Right. Because he just attacked you. Yeah. He leaves and he sends a message saying, I would like to see my daughter tonight. Are you responding? Okay, sir, no problem. I'll have her ready to be picked up by you at 6 p.m. No, you like you. Right? So when you take this to the court, all the judge sees is this man asking you, can I see my daughter tonight? Yeah. And you're responding like a crazy person. Yeah. And they don't have the context that just earlier that same day, 1 hour ago, he was at your house yelling at you, banging on your door, throwing things at your face. And the sad part too is they always know when it's time to walk away, to leave you sitting in those feelings. My ex used to do that all the time. Like, he would throw out something that was false. Yeah. And then mic drop and ignore me. And then it's like, that did not happen. You liar. And then Yep. And they know exactly how to use communication against you. So that's a good point. Okay. So, moving on. Okay. So, because this is something that is common for narcissists. So I want to see if it happened in your situation. Did his personality in court, in front of the judge, differ from the person you knew outside of the courtroom?
In two different ways. Right. So with me, he was the victim. Oh, you're not a good wife and you're a part of the issue and the problem. And I'm literally like, am I? Because I don't think I did all the things that you did. But okay. So he was a victim while we were going through our divorce. But that final trial, he was a different kind of victim. He was a victim of so he didn't bring any documentation. He was not represented. So he was a victim of ignorance then. When he was with me and going through the divorce, he was a victim of blaming. Like you did this, you did this, you did this. Like you're not, no, I didn't do this to you. You did this and you did this, right? And manipulation, right? But in court, and I do feel like the judge gave him leniency because of that. And then he had no documents to prove it. I think there was one example of his 401k, and he was trying to justify 401k funds and saying something. And the judge was like, okay, well, where's your documentation to prove this? Oh, I didn't bring it today. So this is your final hearing. How do you not bring this to court? Right. So, and I think he was just banking on her believing him.
That's what they do. Because they convince you with no proof of anything. They lie so much, right? They'll tell you that they own all these things and they work in the place. And we don't ask for proof. Because they're charming and they seem honest. And why would somebody make up something so crazy?
My ex made up a lot of stuff about his ex-wife. So I was thinking oh, well, why would she leave this good man? He's such a great man. I'm talking about she was a cokehead. She was a bad mother. Her mother was horrible. It was all of these things. And then when you get into it, years down the line, you're like, it was you.
The whole time.
But he wanted me to believe
they
that.
They love to lie about their exes.
Oh, yes. Yeah, y'all keep that in mind. Definitely.
My ex-husband's ex was the devil. He actually used the word devil to describe this woman. No, I've never met her, but I know she ain't the devil.
I know she.
Because then at some point he said, oh, you're just like her. And I knew I wasn't the devil.
That's crazy.
So there's no way she would be the devil. I'm just like her, sir.
That's crazy. Okay, so then that goes into the next question for you, right? Why is compromise dang near impossible with a narcissist? There's no level-headedness. No. There is no equal playing. There's no equality at all. Why is it so hard?
Because they want to win. A compromise is not a win to them. They want to win. They want to control you. When you're going through a divorce, they're losing control. At least in that
because they've already lost you.
So. Right. So they're losing control of that. So now they have to control the court process. Right. Because they have to retain some kind of control. And they want to win because winning for them is going to signify that they've been telling the truth the whole time. You're the liar. Right. They're the good person. See, they can go and show it as a little trophy to their friends and family and say, see, I told you guys. I told you she was crazy. Here, look at these documents I want.
That actually brings up a good situation and example. So going back to when I was saying that, well, I don't think we talked about it yet. We'll talk about it in part 2, where my ex would use my daughter in inappropriate ways. So I would protect her and no, you're not seeing her until, and he made a comment and said, until the judge tells me not to do it. And he knew what I was going to do because he knows the kind of mother I am. Until a judge tells me not to do it, then I'm not going to stop doing it. So, of course, then you're not going to see her. And that was used against me. I then was in contempt. It was a badge of honor contempt, though. Any mother would know it was a badge of honor contempt because of what he was doing. But he then took that back to family and friends and was like, she was also in contempt because that was the only thing that he won in the situation. So, of course, you're going to use that. And you're not going to say why I was in contempt because then that would highlight what you did that was inappropriate with your daughter. So, but he definitely ran with that. Oh, he absolutely ran with that. Okay. So go ahead.
I have a question for you. Because you just talked about some of the things that he was doing during the divorce process. Yes. Has the conflict continued after your divorce?
So we've gotten past several things that happened throughout, right after our divorce was final, in our final court hearing. I mean, of course, he was vindictive, right? Because my divorce was successful. So he
whatever that means.
So of course he was still on one, and he upped his vindictiveness. He didn't follow the divorce decree. It was almost
he lost in that area.
Yes,
so
he lost.
He has to take control.
Yes, he's trying now to take control, and I think he also wanted me to take him back to court. And it was my friend who really was just like, I was like, friend, it's time. We gotta go back to court. And she was like, I will tell you when it's time to go back to court and to retain me, and will. And I just had to sit back and was like, okay, girl. That's why, you know what, in our last episode when we talked about get a friend that really is your ride or die through this situation and will tell you, friend, you wrong. Go sit your butt down somewhere, or, you know, it's not time to move forward and do XYZ, or friend, you too emotional. This is my friend. My friend will tell me, like, girl, get on my face and go sit down. Or she'll be like, Nisha, you were so wrong for that. So my friend kept me level-headed throughout it, because he definitely was not okay with what happened and how it all ended. So now, months later, I will say it's dying down. Good. But I think it's going to ramp back up when it's time for overnights. Yeah. It's definitely going to ramp back up. It does its little thing. It does its thing. It has its ups and its downs. Yep. Yeah. But I'm getting to a place of like, listen, you're not about to dry my skin out again. Do you see these edges and grew back? Sir, you are not about to stress me out. Like, I'm in a good place. Yeah. I'm happy. And we're staying there. We're staying there, right? Now, sometimes my friend be having to get me together. But other than that, I feel good. I feel really good. And I don't want to go back to that dark place. No. Yeah. No. So what about yours, though? Do you feel like yours, 4 years in?
Yeah, I'm 4 years in. It was crazy right after. Not crazy in a rara way. Yeah. It was more... like he was still doing the whole silent treatment thing as punishment after the divorce. And I'm trying to talk about our kids.
That's a manipulation.
Like, when are you going to come get your children? Right? That's all I'm trying to talk to this man about. Yeah. Or your kids have this coming up at school, or I want to put this kid in these extracurricular activities. And he wouldn't even open messages. He wouldn't respond back. It was just, I was on silent treatment. But at this point, it's died down. It's gotten better. I mean, he no longer has any kind of effect on me, and I think he probably just accepted this at this point.
Yes,
you know, find somebody else to go ahead and control, because it can't be me.
And they'll still poke in certain ways, you know. They'll still poke, you know. So just use that. So all the narcissists that are watching, because we know that they like studying their own selves. So please don't do that. It's not going to work in your favor if you have to go back to court. So on that note, this concludes part 1 of the narcissist divorce versus divorcing a healthy partner.
What no one tells you.
What no one tells you. So we're going to give y'all all the tea. We're going to tell you what it is. And we can expose the things that we've been through, because we're not in that place anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, as you guys can see, this is not a typical process, right? I really think it's a whole different category of divorce. It is. We almost need a special court just for those people.
I agree.
Because our judges are not educated on how to deal with them. They're not educated on their ways. Unless you've encountered one, you don't really understand. Because they're meeting the person that we met when we first met them.
Exactly.
The
representative.
Right? And they have to make a determination based on your words that this amazing person in front of them is actually crazy.
Yeah, that's true. And there's a lot of attorneys that are necessary for this too. That's why you switch attorneys when you're talking to your attorney and you're like, this is going on, this is what's happening, and they'll never be able to understand. They're not going to be able to understand. So in part 2, we're going to take a deeper dive into the tactics that narcissists use.
This is Her Turn Next. See you guys in part 2.
We'll be back.